Hello everyone, today I'm going to be teaching you how to make bullets in the game that we're working on in Star 1 Defense. We're going to learn how to spawn the bullets correctly, we're going to learn how to have the ship follow our mouse, and we're going to learn how to move the bullets once they're spawned in. So to start off, I've gone ahead and I've imported our bullet sprite, and I've called it bullet sprite, and I'm going to change the origin. For this particular object, we want it right in the middle, and so we're going to set it to 96 by 96. So it's directly in the middle of our bullet, and this is very important or it will cause issues later. While we're here, we're also going to change the collision mask from rectangle, again, to precise per frame, like we did the ship, so that no matter where or how this bullet is pointing, it will always have this same collision mask, which is pretty important. So to start, we're going to go into our ship idle object. Well, actually, scratch that. Before that, we do need to make the bullet object. So we're going to go ahead and make the bullet object. We're just going to call it bullet object. And remember to assign the sprite to it. Now, this is not something that you need to place into GameMaker, as we're going to have an instance create and it will place it in the room for us. So we don't need to go ahead and drag and drop this into the room. That's just not necessary and it will mess things up, so don't do that. So we're going to have a create event, and within the create event, we're just going to delete this again. Within the create event, we're going to set the speed equal to 34. This is a variable that's built into GameMaker, so it will automatically set our bullet speed to 34, and this is just how quickly the bullet will be moving across the screen. And then we're also going to make sure it points the same direction. We're going to add a little bit of a check, and we're going to do if instance exists, bullet object, and then a curly bracket, and then we're going to do direction equals point direction, and then x, y, mouse x, and mouse underscore y. And so what this is doing, why do we have it? Oh, I missed a parentheses there. Whoops. So what this code is going to be doing here is it's checking if the bullet object actually exists. This is the direction we're going to point it. And similar to speed, direction is a variable that's already built into GameMaker. And so is mouse X and mouse Y, and then X and Y is just getting the X and Y position. So this is, and the point direction is making sure like what direction it will be pointing. So it's fairly simple. This is all you need in the create event. Now in the step event that we're going to have, again, we're going to delete this comment. We're basically going to be doing a custom outside room event so that if we need to later, we can change how the outside room event works. So we're going to do if x is greater than 1024, because 1024 is how big our room is. We're just going to run a simple instance destroy, and then just parentheses, and then nothing inside of it. So it will destroy the bullet object instance. And we're going to do another one, and we're just going to change that to y. So that this way now, if it's outside of the room, it will be destroying it. This is better than the outside room event, as it allows us to have more direct control. So what we're going to go ahead and go to now is back to our ship idle object. And these variables can be set in the step or create event. And we're going to be doing some math. Now, in a previous video, I've gone over this. And so if you would like more of an in-depth explanation, you can go there, because this is somewhat complicated code. So we're going to set a lot of variables here. So we're going to have x origin equal to 512, because that's the center of our room. And then we're going to do the same for y origin equal to 512. And then we're going to do c equals d cos, so this is cosine, image angle, and that's how it's pointing. And then we're going to do s equals d sine image angle. So we're basically getting the degrees of sine and cosine. And then we're going to do x offset equals 0, and then y offset equals negative 100. Now, if you're using my assets, negative 100 and 0 is what you want it to set it to. If you're using your own assets, you might have to play around with the offset of the specific bullets, because this will be for our bullet spawn. And we're going to do final x equals x origin plus our cosine variable that we made times x offset plus our sine variable and then times y offset. And then we're going to do final y equal to y origin plus s times our x offset plus c times our y offset. Now this should be negative right here. My bad. So that sign should be negative. And then we're going to go, and we're still in the step event, and so we're going to have image angle equals point direction, and then x, y, mouse x, and then mouse y, minus 90. And so this is similar to the point direction in our bullet object. This is just going to be changing the image angle around our mouse, minus 90, so it's offset just a little bit. So we'll be, when we move the mouse around, now our ship will spin whatever way the mouse is facing. And now what we need to do is we need to, well, spawn the bullet, because that's the last thing that we haven't done yet. So we need to do if mouse check button and then pressed and then MB left. So this is checking if the mouse check button is pressed, and again, make sure you're in the step event, because this needs to be in the step event. Every time you click, we need to spawn an object, and the way you spawn an object, well, there's a couple different ways, but the way that we're going to be using is instant create depth instead of layer, because we don't want to move it between the layers. We need it all in the same layer, otherwise it won't collide with our asteroids. We're going to have final x, final y, that needs to be capitalized, -1, and then bullet object. So what this is doing is this is taking our final x and final y and setting it as the x and y position of the bullet, and then -1 for our depth. This number doesn't really matter too much because we're all going to be on the same layer, so just set that to whatever number, it doesn't really matter. And then bullet object, that's the object that we're going to be spawning. So now when we run this, it should have everything. I don't believe that there'll be any errors, but you never know. There's always a lot of bug fixing in games, and that's just a part of the development process. And if you have errors, don't be disheartened, just work towards fixing them. So now we do have our guy spin around, and he also shoots. The shooting is a little bit off, so I might need to adjust the offset just a little bit. But for now, this works. This is what we're working towards is the minimal viable product. So it doesn't look perfect, but it doesn't need to be. We will be polishing it later. This is the very basics that we need down. And so just to make sure our machine isn't getting overloaded with bullets, when it goes over there, it's gone. It looks like our object is just a little bit off, but that's okay. We're going to be polishing all of this later. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, let me know. Put them in the comments below. I also have a Twitter and a Discord. Both are really great ways to contact me. If you're wanting to make the same exact game that I am building, I do have all the assets available on itch.io for $1, and it supports the channel greatly. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.